Good morning, guys. Welcome to Help Edition. I'm your host, Vic Manon. Today we're joined by our new Dean, Dr. Andy. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
A brief introduction of yourself for our viewers.
My name is Andy Hickson from the UK, and background in social theatre. Been in Malaysia for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
How are you enjoying the weather so far, sir?
I love the weather. I was speaking to my friends in England just last night, and they're complaining of snow, of cold, of jumpers, coats.
We don't know anything about snow over here.
No.
We eat something called...
Ice kacang.
Yes, ice kacang. I think so shaving side over there
That's
in UK,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
We also have something here called chendol, which you should try, sir.
Okay.
Do you plan to visit any parts of Malaysia when you're over here?
When I get the time, that would be nice. I do have some experience though of Malaysia.
Okay.
I lived here when I was a teenager, and I've been back many times. So I do love the country. I visited north, south, east, west, so I know it pretty well actually.
Which is your favorite part?
My second home
Mm-hmm.
is the jungle in Kelantan, where I've lived with the Temia Orang Asli.
Okay.
Hence, I'm wearing temport today, which is a Temia headdress. For holiday, my favourite part of Malaysia is the east coast, so Kuala Terengganu,
Okay.
and there's a little secret island when I'm totally stressed, which is not often, but when I'm stressed, I go to chill out, do some diving, do some snorkeling. It's beautiful.
Any particular favorite foods that you have over here?
Oh, well, I'm vegan, so I
Yeah.
don't eat meat, chicken, fish, or eggs, or honey. I don't drink milk or any dairy products either. So, vegan, Chinese vegan food, absolutely love it. Also Malay, some vegan food, not so much, but a lot of Indian vegan food as well. So, I go to Brickfields a lot to eat. And also there's a lovely vegan Chinese restaurant that I go to quite near Imbi, where they serve mock meat.
Not bad, sir. You're pretty experienced. I like it. So how did you end up back in Malaysia since you were 3 weeks, right?
My recent background, last sort of 10, 20 years, has been CEO of a international theatre and education company in the UK. We run programs, say, all over the UK and abroad. About 3 years ago, I met your Vice Chancellor, Datuk Paul Chan, where he was impressed with my work, and he headhunted me last year to come and join Help University, hence why I'm here at Help. So when I was looking at flights, I noticed that the cheapest flights were on Christmas Day, half-price flights, and arrived here on Boxing Day. So yeah, 3 weeks.
Presuming your family is back at home?
I brought most of my family, my wife and my 2 younger children. They travelled with me. My older children, who are still at school and one working in England, they've stayed in the UK.
How are the young ones finding Malaysia?
Baby is 10 months.
Okay, yeah, so he won't know.
Although this is her first time to Malaysia. My son, Anthony, he is just 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
In fact, he had his 3rd birthday in Malaysia a couple of weeks ago. Actually, from the age of 3, more than I did when I was 3, for sure.
So what are your hobbies, sir?
Hobbies. I love to dive,
Okay.
avid snorkeler. I keep fit by running. I'm an ultra marathon runner, so my distances are anywhere from 50 miles to 100 miles. Do run smaller lengths as well. More difficult in the heat, but I'm looking for some ultra marathons to run in Malaysia. My swimming, although I do like, as I said, diving and snorkeling, is not great. So swimming long distances, unless you give me a pair of fins, is more difficult. I'd like to find a marathon that runs through the jungle. I think that would be a challenge, and I'm sure there is one. I've got a couple of other hobbies which might seem odd for a dean, I don't know, but I'm an avid gamer, and not just digital games, but my favourite board game of all time is a game you probably haven't heard of called Catan. It's a combination of the best best of Risk, Monopoly, Game of Nations into one lovely, fantastic strategy board game. So yeah, I challenge any of you out there. If you want a game of Catan, come to me. I also collect Marvel comics.
Nice.
Yeah, that was from a child. I still collect them now. Silver Surfers, Hulk, Spider-Mans.
Who's your favorite hero?
Silver Surfer is my favourite. Yeah, and the Incredible Hulk, both misunderstood characters, and I kind of see a lot of myself in them. As much of my life I have been a misunderstood character.
Yeah. Go back a little bit for the gaming part. I'm guessing PC, PlayStation, Xbox. You do that as well?
Some online games I do like. My favourite platform is the Wii.
You have probably gained quite a huge following right now.
Oh, right. Many of the driving games, like sort of Mario Kart, again, with the Wii, you've got the actual steering wheel, so you're not just sort of pressing buttons and so on. So, I like that connection to reality as well. A lot of driving games, F1 games.
Are you a fan of F1?
I am a fan of F1, and big up Lewis Hamilton.
Before the arrival of Lewis Hamilton, who were you supporting, sir?
Michael Schumacher.
Of course, right.
Has to be. Yeah, very, very sad what has happened to Michael Schumacher. Best wishes go out to him and his family, of course. But yes, huge Michael Schumacher fan.
Football?
Football, Manchester United, but not Mourinho. Alex Ferguson, top man.
Of course. Let's get into the main real questions here. What was it that made you choose Help University, sir?
First of all, I was honoured to be asked to begin with. When I was approached by Dr. Paul Chan, it blew me away. Help University. I love Malaysia anyway, so then having the opportunity to come and live in Malaysia, so that would be, when I visited Malaysia, it's only been for sort of a few weeks, maybe 6 weeks maximum, apart from when I lived here as a teenager. To join a university, first of all, it teaches it in my mother tongue, English. It's hugely beneficial, although I am able to speak some Malay, a little bit of Chinese, Mandarin, and also the Tamil language. The thing I like about Help University, apart from its ethos of achieving, is the multicultural atmosphere of Help University. You've got lecturers from all over the country. You've got from all over the world, shall I say, international lecturers. You've got international students from all over the world. I love that mix of cultures, a sort of melting pot, which is also, in my mind, a kind of a representation of, a mini representation of Malaysia itself. A mix of cultures, a mix of identities, lots of different food, different languages, different ideas. Yes, I love that melting pot.
What are the challenges that you're currently facing as a new dean for this campus?
The first challenge is just finding my feet, literally. Settling into a new job, any job, is always that transition can be difficult. There's some cultural differences. Now, I don't mean the traditional type of cultural differences you might think of in terms of language and food and so on. The differences, one I've noticed, is something that's lacking. I don't think it's just Help per se, or Help University per se, but something in Malaysia. There's a lack of a culture of volunteering. And when I've talked to a lot of people about this idea of volunteering, which is very big in the UK, a lot of people volunteer, i.e. doing work for no money. In Malaysia or in Help University, when I've talked about the volunteering idea, often it's seen as a way to abuse people's work, if you like. So free labour, in other words. Whereas to me, volunteering has nothing to do with free labour. In fact, employers that take on people in a volunteer capacity just so they can get cheap or free labour, I think are doing a disservice to the idea, the very ethics and ethos of volunteering. It is about, with volunteering, you might not get something back in monetary values, but you get things back in other ways. you get to learn new things, you get to do things that you enjoy, you get great networking opportunities, you get things to put on your CV, you get lots of building up your own personal skills base, which is only going to help you in the other things that you do in your life, what you go on to do beyond university, beyond work and so on. So that's one of the challenges. Also specific to my role as Dean of this faculty, initially there were two departments, the American degree program and the Department of Communication. So it's two separate departments. And what one of my tasks is to bring or unify those two departments into one faculty. So they didn't really communicate or work with each other before. So bringing them together, I'm finding a challenge, as would anybody bringing in together two departments. Currently, an additional challenge to that is they're both located on different floors of Wisma Health, which is the campus I'm working on, and which we're currently filming this. So the next step of unifying the two departments is to bring them together into one set of office spaces, which I've already started the ball rolling, so to speak. We've run creative workshops together now. I've introduced a skills sharing program so that every member of staff is going to offer a skill or a hobby or something that they're interested in to the rest of the staff, and that's going to be open to all members of staff from both departments. So just finding lots of different ways for the staff from the two departments to communicate with each other, to work together, to share ideas with each other, because I think both departments have a lot to give each other, and I think individuals in the two departments have a lot to share with each other as well, as in addition to the wider health community.
With these problems of merging the different departments, how do you plan to deliver the message to them that you're working together as a new unit, right? Because even our Faculty of Communication has changed name to Department of Communication. And
it started off as Department of Communication, and the American degree program, which is its own department, so that's two departments. So each department will retain its own identity, but we're bringing them together into one faculty. And the faculty has a current name of the Faculty of Communication and Liberal Arts, although we have been exploring other titles for the faculty as well. So that's our working title, work in progress.
Usually whenever a merger happens, there's always some sort of like panic or reaction. How were you dealing with the workforce when they were in that state?
For me, panic is not a useful emotion. Panic in any sphere of life blocks things that we need to do. So it's not helpful. Often we find, there's been situations where I've panicked in, but it's not useful to get anything done in our lives. It's a barrier. So personally, whenever I feel an onset of panic, I will step back. I will locate where I'm feeling a panic, because we feel things like panic within our bodies, and then do a few, maybe some breathing techniques, some relaxation techniques, just to let the panic go. And then I can get on with the work involved. And that's the kind of starting of initial ideas that I'm trying to instill with the staff within the faculty, is things like panicking in situations isn't going to be useful. Take a step back, look at the situation from a different angle, speak with somebody, talk with somebody, and then we can move on. So, it is a challenge. Panic in a way is a kind of misplaced energy that is projecting into us and causing us damage, if you like, and it's stopping us from being able to do some of the things that we want to do. So it's almost trying to find ways to transfer that energy into something else that's more productive, that's going to actually assist the things that we're trying to do, rather than prevent us from doing things that we're going to do. And in all of that, it's promoting an open dialogue, promoting this idea of sharing. And I can already see that that some of the things that I've gently introduced are starting to take shape, and I believe what I'm trying to do that is through my own role modelling, and I think all good teachers, all good educators, guides, and so on. One of the best techniques they can use is by practicing what they preach, so to speak. So showing people that when I tell them I have an open door policy, my door is literally open, and when people have come to speak to me, they come into my office and we've had a chat. I haven't turned people away. When I try and promote open dialogue in meetings, informal and formal meetings, in the beginning when I'd say, do we have any ideas? Silence. Okay, who's going to say something? And I sensed that there was fear. There was fear there. I couldn't quite locate what that fear was about, but after speaking with people, it's fear from things that have happened in the past when, for example, when ideas have been requested or searched for, people have been often worried about giving ideas because they might suddenly think, if I say an idea, I might get ridiculed for saying something wrong. I might show myself up for not knowing something. I might if I suggest something that's a good idea, I might suddenly be tasked with having to carry out that idea or carry it forward, and it might give me an extra workload. So there was barriers even for sort of suggesting ideas. And what I've tried to do in all of my communications and meetings so far with people is to show that that ideas, that feedback is a positive thing. It doesn't mean that it's suddenly going to give you additional work, and it doesn't mean just because somebody might not agree with your idea that it's wrong or that you shouldn't be able to suggest it. Because I think with all ideas, when we put them into a melting pot, when we mind map a lot of ideas together, it helps us see things in different ways, in different angles, and it gives birth to new ideas, to new concepts and new paths for action and so on.
What are your future plans or your future and your current plans for the department?
So the first plan already in action is to get us located into one set of offices. So both departments are in a physical place together. I think that's important. It gets us talking, sharing, meeting with each other. Even things like, I'm going to create a kind of a lounge area within the faculty, not because we're just going to chill out all the time, but it's important to have meeting points, because that's when exchanges of ideas happen. That's when people greet each other and learn more about each other. And I think that helps develop growth within any community, and the faculty really is a community. So that's carrying forward in incremental steps, so small steps, I think is important, rather than sort of trying to affect huge change altogether. I also think that one of the next steps is introducing more technology, or getting staff thinking about the technology that we've got. So currently we're in what some people would describe as the fourth industrial revolution, or the fourth scientific revolution, and we're thinking about big data, about moving beyond computers, the introduction of wearables and so on. So finding ways for staff and students to be able to make the best use of the fourth industrial revolution, and how we're going to manage ourselves within this new revolution, if you like.
All right, sir. We will have to call it a day for today. We'll continue our questions for the next one. Thank you so much, sir, for joining the show.
Thank you.
I've been your host, Vic Bannon. Thank you, Dr. Andy, again for joining us on Help Edition. With that, guys, peace out. I am out.